All right, guys, boys and girls, I'm getting ready to replace the chain on this 2001 Honda 929RR. Fast bike, fastest bike I've ever owned. Anyway, man, tell you a little story on this before I change the chain for anybody who's had to gone through this. I think I've read on the internet that some people have had this problem. Once again, when manufacturers produce anything, they always have flaws. And in this particular bike, okay, never mind, my garage is a mess. This particular bike, on the head, the spark plugs only screw in. It's got a 1/4 inch threads going down into the head. Okay, now you need at least a 1/2 inch for a good hold on them spark plugs, or else you'll blow the plug out of the head. Okay, and that's exactly what happened to me. I had this bike in Chicago, blew the spark plug out of the head, had to go get the bike, had to get my truck and trailer and haul it home. Okay, find out what was going on with it, and I found out what was going on with it and decided, well, guess what? I took the gas tank off, air filter, found the plug that blew out of the head, and realized that there's no way to get in there to helicoil it. Okay, to put a new plug in, you got to get down there with a pulley tap, and you got to rethread the head, put a helicoil in, put the new plug in. Unfortunately, there's no way to get to it, because going across here underneath this tank is an aluminum, part of the aluminum frame that goes right over the top of the head. No way to get to it. So what I was going to do was just junk the bike. Okay, there's no way I'm going to pay anybody $3,000 to yank this motor out and redo the heads and go through all that mess. It's not going to happen. I was just going to junk it. It's been laid down couple times actually, but it's a good bike. I mean, it still runs like a top. So anyway, guys, what I ended up doing, I'm gonna junk the bike, right? Or I'm gonna go ahead and do something crazy to see if I can fix it, and that's exactly what I did. So anyway, going across the heads is a big aluminum frame. You see how thick that aluminum frame is? Well, it went across a cross member up there. I cut that out. It was the only way to get to the spark plugs, okay? It was in the way. There was no way to get down there with a pulley tap and get the helicoil in there. There was no possible way whatsoever. It was completely covering the spark plug holes, so I cut it out. And the reason I did that, guys, is because if you look at this frame, it's 6 inches that way. It's connected down here all the way across. It's got a T-member, T-frame, all the way up here, solid as a rock, thick as a rock. It goes all the way down. The frame is solid, so cutting off that cross member up there isn't going to make any difference whatsoever. So I went ahead and cut that out, and I ended up on the other side where the spark plug was. Spark plug's not on this side, it's on the other side. What I ended up doing was notching out the frame, probably about 2.5 inches down, about 2.5 inches across. So I took a big notch out of the frame over there to get the tools in there that I needed, because it was still in the way to get the helicoil down in there. Okay, so I ended up doing all that. Once again, this thing is solid as a rock. Not going to hurt nothing. I did this 7 years ago, and I haven't had a problem with it since. But anyway, let me tell you another part of this story. I ended up getting the helicoil down in there, but I went too far, and the helicoil, which is this guy right here, as you can see, you see how big that is? That fell down inside the cylinder. Okay? Guess what? I could not get it out. I had a hold of it, and I stretched it, and I did whatever I could do, but I could not get that thing out of there for whatever. I had the long needle nose pliers trying to get down in there. You don't have much room. You got to go down inside the plug channel. Then to get down inside the cylinder, I mean, you're looking at 10, 14 inches down. So there's no way I could get it out. So anyway, what I did was I took another helicoil, got it down in there correctly this time, and I went ahead and put the new plug in, got everything together, started it up. This was 7 years ago. So now any of you, you're thinking, okay, something like this down inside the cylinder. Well, you're talking, well, the bike's screwed, right? It's done. It's over. I mean, that's going to score the cylinder. It's going to mess everything up. Okay, you can't have something like that down inside the cylinder. Okay, it's never gonna work. Well, guess what? I left it down in there. I'm thinking again, the bike is junk anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and fire it up, and I did. Oh, that was 7 years ago, and this thing runs like a top. I've had this bike down to Florida. I ride it constantly, all the time, and as you can see, it runs like a top. This thing is so powerful, man. It's unbelievable. All you do is crack the gas, man. I mean, it'll go straight up in the air, shooting towards the moon. I mean, it's unbelievable how much power these things have. So anyway, guys, for any of you who have never heard of that, a Healy coil down inside the cylinder. And I don't know what happened to it, if it's just bouncing back and forth in there. But again, that's 7 years ago. Never had a problem with it since. But I'm just putting that out there for anybody who has ever had this problem, because I've read about a few people on the internet, on YouTube, that same thing, the spark plug pops out. Once again, you got to cut off the cross member frame, just cut it out, notch out your other frame. That'll give you room down there to get a Healy coil in, put a new spark plug in. I actually put in all 4 brand new Irradium plugs just for the hell of it. I don't want to go back down in there and do them all over again. And it's been running great ever since. So I saved the bike, and I saved thousands of dollars, you know, taking it to a shop where I'm sure they would have had to yank the motor to get that out. Anyway, all right, man. I'm going to label it as that in case anybody's looking for a way to fix these without spending, like I say, it'd take about 4 or 5, 6 hours to do it once you get everything taken apart, but it's an easy job. It's not bad at all. All right, guys. Peace out. Take care. God bless. Have a great day.